Tough day at work today, Steve and Kirk think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we wanna go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You wanna be with DC and our aim in a hand. The host can't see, it's Mike and the Minifans. And nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee, it's Mike and the Minifans.
Hey, how are ya? Welcome to Mike and the Minifans, longest hour in recorded broadcast history. I'm joined by a wonderful panel to end the year. A great year in the KMS world. Some ups and downs. You know, we lost Dave Cullinane. We gained Andrew Augustus, Coleman, Justin was involved. The network is back, and it was just a great year. But I want to start it off before I introduce everyone. Everyone knows a great Minifan, Pat from Amesbury, former host of the 420 show. Today had a beautiful daughter. So I want to shout out Pat's daughter. Buon Natale, come si dice. You know,
Buon Natale.
Buon Natale. So I'm joined by the one, the only Steve from Gloucester. How you doing, Paisan?
How you doing?
Good, good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Ricky Slick says, "Where's Mike?" My name is actually Mike as well, so we've addressed that already. Justin, how are you? Man, I think you are the people. I think it's a cop out. You are the Minifan of the year this year.
But I'm not. You can't do that. That's such a stupid argument to say. Jeff Lowe won it. You can't say, oh well, you know, if Brady just had a couple more. No, it's just you just need to go with whoever. It's Jeff Lowe.
I think it's a rig.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Right, and then we're joined by new face, a cricket enjoyer, the People's Republic of Coleman. What a guy!
Hey.
People's. What do you want me to call you? People's Republic, cricket enjoyer, whatever.
Cricket enjoyer. Let's be cricket enjoyer for tonight. Yeah.
Okay. So how are you?
I'm doing well. I actually hit some cricket bets tonight, so I'm feeling even better tonight. So just happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful. We'll get right into crazy week. We will take calls at 9 o'clock, around 8:45, 9. So if you guys want to stick around for the calls, you can. What a day, Pat, the father of a beautiful baby girl in the chat. Wow. He's watching Mike and the Minifans while having a kid.
That's
crazy.
A Minifan, right?
That's awesome.
Maybe Minifan of the year 2024. But we'll get into Minifan of the year because I have a little bit of gripes with it. But where do you guys want to start? Because you know, obviously, it's easy to bring up Gus. We could talk about Gus for 20 minutes. Even the trolls are saying, like, what are you going to talk about, BA? Gus being a shitty producer for 20 minutes. But there's also the Barstool drama between KFC and Rico. But so where do you want to go? Stevie, where do you want to start? You want to start with Gus? I know you can't speak to.
I can't start with Gus. I have a 2-week ban on saying anything about him. So I'll start with Rico and Kirk. I think that would be a good starting point.
I think let's start with like KFC. So like,
okay,
I thought this was so KFC and Kirk. Kirk goes at KFC saying all this stuff like how soft Barstool Chicago or Barstool New York is. KFC sends this email out. And then when he calls in today, and Shark Minahan brought it up, he said, was Kirk too soft on KFC? Because he kind of just agrees right away, right? Like he's like, oh yeah, you know, you're right. But I think Kirk was a bit soft on KFC. You know, what do you, Steve? You're in studio, so Justin, what do you think? Because it was a good point. Like KFC emails this whole office like, don't interact with Kirk. It's like it's kind of like it's a slap in the face of the Minifans, Kirk, and he kind of just was like, yeah, you know, you're right. You know, what do you think?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was soft on Kirk. I mean, if Kirk's whole idea was to kind of flush Rico out to see if, you know, he could talk this shit about KFC in the New York office and see if he could get Rico to kind of give him any information or kind of see where that is. I mean, he succeeded perfectly. I mean, he said he heard from 5 people in the New York office, but I will say it is kind of fucking nuts that KFC sent an email out to all content in New York and said, hey, I just don't understand it. Like, hey guys, don't fall for this. Don't like, I need to see this. I want to see this email so bad. Did it just say like, hey, Kirk's an asshole, don't engage with him? Like, cause that's just nuts to me. That goes against like Barstool.
Yeah, like was his name like in the subject line, like Kirk Minahan, like emergency, whatever.
Emergency email. Do not associate.
Email. Yeah.
No, but it's almost like kind of like I could equate it to like so Deadspin does like a hit piece on Barstool, and they're like, don't talk about it, don't address it, it'll just go away. And then Kirk does. So wait, People's Republic of Coleman, what do you think about this? Do you think Kirk was soft on Kim? Okay, Justin.
Can I just say, but that's not what they do. They would say, hey, let's call this out. Fuck this. We're going to like go at these guys. But I'm just not sure. I just need to know what the email said. If it was just like,
exactly,
hey, Kirk's trying to stir up some shit with the New York office. I don't know. It's nothing. Don't pay. It's like, okay, that's one thing. But if it's another, like if it was an email sent out only with this, that was like, hey, do not engage with Kirk Minahan, is fucking nuts to me.
That's crazy.
Like all caps in the subject line.
Yeah. And I wonder who the people were that sent the email.
Yeah,
it was 5.
We'll get to that, but so you're People's Republic of Coleman. What do you think? Like, is it was Kirk a little? I think he was a little soft on Kevin. Like, I think he's treating Kevin with like kid gloves or something. Like, he obviously likes him a bit, but if that was anyone else, like, I think he would be like, "What the fuck? Like, you don't want to like." Isn't the whole thing like, "Oh, come on, talk about it"? You're like, not just hide,
Do you think there's like maybe a little bit of hangover from like the surviving Barstool and the camaraderie and all that, and it's like nobody's it's over and it's done with, but nobody's really like totally let that go yet, so there's still kind of that, hey, we're vibing a little bit kind of thing going on there. That's kind of my impression. And also, like, if Kirk's ultimate premise was like to get Rico to like weed him out and see what's going on, then like Kevin wasn't really the main character in that whole situation too, so like he didn't really have to be super tough on him or super hard on him, kind of, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ricky Slicks actually brings up a great point. KFC is better at being a husband than he is at producing good content. So that's a great point by Ricky Slicks. But I do think there could be something where this could be Kirky, not bit, but like Kirk's like he's like, oh, I use this. The puppet master could have been like, maybe it fell into his lap and he's like, oh, now I snuffed out Rico. Like, Justin, you think for sure he was doing this whole thing to snuff out Rico?
I mean, that's what he said. I don't know. I do think that there is some truth to kind of like, Barstool New York is just one big kumbaya right now. They're putting out videos where everyone is crying, saying this is the most wholesome content I've ever seen, which is I can say in following Barstool content, normally most of the content that comes out isn't like wholesome. That's not what people go for. So I think, Kirk did say like, hey, everyone wants everyone to like each other in New York. And then I'm not, if he said this whole idea was to try to snuff out Rico, then yeah, sure, I'll believe it.
Wow. James is saying Kirk told KFC to send the email to see if Rico would tell him. Wow.
That would be great.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this email thing, I think it could have fell into Kirk's lap. Maybe he was playing some kind of game against Rico, and then he said there's 5 people at Barstool who sent him the email. Like, I'm trying to think of the New York office, and if he said Clemmer wasn't one of them, like,
that's tough.
Who do you think one of the 5 is? Like, my guy Shark Minahan said Tommy Smokes, newly formed Minifan has to be
I
one.
think he's got to be one.
I think
Quiggs.
Quiggs.
I had this written down somewhere.
I think Quiggs is in Chicago.
I had.
I think. Yeah.
I think Jack Mack is a sneaky
Jack
Minifan.
Mack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps Casey may have. I mean,
could have been.
Casey
she seems to be someone who's kind of gets the joke.
Pat Ford says Pat and Nate.
Yep.
Nate, I could definitely see that.
Do we rule out Feidelberg or do we add him in? Because Feidelberg was texting him during the show, but he's too close to Kevin to do something like that, or
I don't think Feidelberg cares enough to start drama.
This is kind of a wild card, but I could see like Che trying to get back in Kirk's good graces.
Well, near Chicago.
The only thing is, yeah.
God damn it! I've done that twice.
Come on, People's Republic. I thought you were a Coleman guy. You don't even know.
And then maybe Caroline would be my other guess.
Caroline, that would be funny if He said there was one like surprising one, so that's interesting to me. I was thinking the surprising one might have been Marty Mush.
The only reason I wouldn't say that is because he said he's never talked to Kirk. Because they were talking about, Marty's back in because how they like pushed his desk away when it came out that he was dating Rhea.
Like on the show, I throw on Frank because I'm like, it's surprising. Would it be Frank? But I don't. Again, when you ruled out Frank, I was like, who could the surprise be? But
that's pretty cool. How there's Kevin's now the skip, as Steve would say, of John Rich. John Rich,
yeah, that's a good one.
John Rich. Yeah, but it's kind of funny. Like Kevin's a skip, but there is kind of a sleeper cell of Minifans in the New York office. And I also didn't like KFC when he's on the call today. He's saying like if anyone would choose KFC or the KMS show over KFC Radio, they must be insane. Like KFC Radio is probably one of the worst shows on the planet. And like to say that the Kirk Minahan show. Or like to be a fan of Kirk over KFC, you have to be crazy. Like, like Kirk's definitely more entertaining than KFC.
Much more.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree that Kirk is way more entertaining than KFC. But I do think there is something to say that like everyone who's invested, KFC doesn't have these diehards that Kirk does. So I think maybe KFC's talking about like that. Like if there's something, and we all have a little twing up in our brain.
I guess, but I thought there was a few things on the call where I was like, fuck this guy. And Kirk kind of, I think, took a step back. So maybe it was because it was, and someone in the chat said earlier, he seems like he's always a little bit easier on KFC than some other people. So who knows? But he says that he tells KFC that Rico is the new Rico's new skip is KFC. Yeah. Rico's so a bad end of the year for Rico, and you and Montante, Steve, everyone's trying to ask like what happened, and Kirk's like nothing happened. Kirk's not really telling us the full picture. So like what I found, like he's down on Rico since the Ryan Russillo thing. He says he's kind of a cloud climber, like he's always trying to. He's going to be more friendly to someone with a bigger following, and he's kind of a Miko Bosco guy. He's about himself, but like I don't know what if that's all that happened. I don't know. So what do you guys think about this? I'll start with you, Coleman Republic.
What do I think about like? Start with somebody. I got to think about that one.
Okay, Justin, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I really do. Like I'm torn.
Well, Kirk said that it's not necessarily something that happened. It's just that he realized that Rico has been kind of like kind of not a what can you do for me lately, but like if he sees someone in the vicinity that he can kind of hitch his wagons to, that's a bigger personality or bigger can kind of help Rico out more. He kind of hitches it. So I don't know if maybe he saw something with Dave in Chicago where it was like, but Rico's always kind of been Dave's guy, Dave's plaything as well. Or now maybe it's just KFC and Rico thinks maybe he got all that he can out of Kirk. I mean, Kirk did help him negotiate his contract and for the next year and sat down. I don't know if you guys listened to Pick'em, but it was wildly entertaining. Just going back and forth on the contract, and Kirk was a big integral part of that. So I think maybe because I think Kirk did say like, he did the thing where it's like, we used to have someone call into the show every now and then later that episode, I think it might have been Tuesday's episode.
Yeah, it was one that
he goes to call in, and Kirk's like, no, we're all set. Which is like, ooh, like that's tough. But it's like it's the thing where it's like, I don't know if Kirk maybe wants Rico to call in without having him to say, hey, we used to have someone call into the show. Like, hey, and I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I just saw a comment was put up there that Rico didn't want.
I saw that Rico didn't want Kirk. Rico, when he wanted to go dinner with Dave after contract notifications, didn't want Kirk there. I also they're saying something about the Healthy Debate views. It has more subscribers than KMS, but less live viewers. And he's shunning Minifans on Healthy Debate. I'm not really a huge Healthy Debate guy, in all honesty. But Steve, what do you think? Because I heard you a bit today, and it's like I kind of like the Rico Kirk dynamic, but like you can't if Rico's the skip, like what's the equivalent? If it's kind of like someone in The Sopranos trying to go over Tony
Well,
Soprano,
it
you
was
know what
like
I mean?
when-
Like who's the guy, Ralph?
It's like Paulie
or something?
Walnuts when he would go talk to Johnny Sack. And he would, he'd be devoted to Tony, and then every once in a while he'd talk to Johnny. And I feel like Kirk wants that loyalty. And I don't think Rico gives him that friendship that he wants. It's like a one-sided friendship. Rico uses him when he needs him. He calls him. But I don't think Rico's that type of guy to pick up the phone if Kirk were to call him or ask him a favor. And I think Kirk's getting tired of it, to be like, okay, I'm helping you get a contract, but what are you doing for me? And I think Kirk wants to treat everybody equally, and I don't think he's getting that with Rico.
Yeah, and like even the comparison where it's not necessarily, I don't think he's looking for friendship, but look at let's just take for an example another Barstool employee like Jeff D. Lowe. He's tweeting out like, "Oh my God, it's Patrick Ford Day tomorrow." He's making these stupid videos. He's doing the stupid things. Meanwhile, if it gets brought up on Healthy Debate, Rico's like, "I'm not caught up yet. I really don't know what's going on with this."
Rico doesn't listen. Like you can tell. Which is fine. Like it's okay. Well, like he doesn't listen. People's Republic Coleman, enough time has passed that you have an opinion?
Yes, I do. Like I didn't want to say it, but I do think it does have something to do with like what Justin was saying, and the not even like the Healthy Debate, but just that like Kirk's not getting the attention that he used to get from Rico, and it feels like Rico has moved on to other things and other people and stuff like that. And so that's kind of, I'm in that same kind of zone like that. Like he's loving the Jeff D. Lowe attention right now, and kind of like the Rico thing, he's doing his own thing. So just let him live.
Well, and also Kirk said, and I don't know if he was referencing KFC. He's like, I watch what you send out to people. And could this be that Rico sent out something about Kirk or about something to someone privately, and it has got back to Kirk?
That's a good point.
Because I think something happened there, and like Freddie Lynn makes a good point. Like Jeff D. Lowe leans into it. Rico leans away from the Minifans, and the riders are some of the most crazy people. Like I don't know if do you guys have anything else on Rico and Kirk and everything?
Oh, really?
Would it be a loss to the show if he wasn't around in 2024? Like, is he that big of an impact player on the show?
I don't think Graham Bennett calls are good, or Chase Cullinane, I guess, is kind of funny. But like for the show itself, no, probably for the dozen, it could impact it a bit, because I think it's funny having Kirk and Rico on the same team, and just like outside like show stuff, like he calls Kirk Skip, like kick up to the Skip.
I do. Well, like even in Surviving Barstool and stuff, their little friendship kind of added a whole new element to it. But I think like the main structure of the show wouldn't take anything away from it. But those little moments like that would be pretty cool. That would be missed if you wasn't there. But like that's about it.
I do think the best parts with Rico are when like Kirk is playing about Rico with Dave Portnoy. I do think those times, like, so whenever we get those, like, when he's talking to Dave about Rico is always interesting.
And it's true, like this all kind of stemmed from after the contract negotiation too. So I don't know. But is it like Steve would say, Kirky bits? Like he's trying to do a bit. He's trying to do a bit, and like he's like down on Rico, and then he's going to be back up. Like, what do you think, Steve? You think it's
It could be. I mean, a lot of times when he's not happy, we've seen this happen before, where he's down on Rico, and he'll say, "I'm down on Rico, I'm down on Rico," and then all of a sudden Rico will like reappear because he's done something loyal, for example. So it could be a way to kind of like light a fire under him, because I know he hasn't been happy with his performance on the dozen, and I know Kirk takes that really serious. Plus, add in all the stuff that happened with the contract, and I think he's trying to get him going a little bit, and we'll see if this is a new Rico, like who's changed and is not going to like snap, or if he's like going to be a nice guy going forward. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, Freddie Lynn actually has a good point. He said maybe it's all a test. Can Rico remain loyal through a Nido spot? maybe in a
That's a
month
good
we're
point.
back at 11. So it seems like Kirk's testing Rico. So
And Jeff gave him dates to appear. Gus was telling us after. He's like, "Oh yeah, he texts us all these dates that he's ready to have Kirk on." So we'll see how far this goes.
are you an only real man drink from jugs learn from the jerk lord? But there you go. Wow. What do you think about? Oh, look at that.
Wow.
What do you think about Jeff Nadeau, People's Republic of Coleman? Do you think Kirk's gonna go through with it or
No,
No?
like it's no. I know. I think it was too out of left field, too much history with Nadeau. I think the more and more you say like a test for Rico, the more those kind of gears click in, and I think about it, and it's just like I can't see a world where Nadeau and Kirk get along long enough for like him to actually end up going on the show. Like Nadeau's just that volatile, and like Kirk's just that volatile. Like something's gonna happen.
Is that a
no?
Is that a salmon shirt? Is that I think Justin has a similar salmon shirt.
Dude, I love salmon shirts. Any kind of like pastel color is really it fits my skin tone.
I will say, can I just go off what Cricket Enjoyer said there? I don't see a long-term relationship with Nadeau, but I definitely believe that Kirk will be on Jeff Nadeau's sit-down podcast. I mean, it doesn't need to, like, he's just going to go on there and talk about a mafia guy that they both enjoy. So I definitely see that happening.
I really don't like Nadeau either, so it's like
I'm not a Nadeau guy, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he'll change my mind when Kirk comes on.
But like getting it, like, so I don't know. Did you listen to Montante's World, Steve, or any of you guys?
I didn't know.
Oh, okay, so I'll give you
not.
kind of the close notes. So Montante had this former KMS fan hit the post. I don't know if you guys remember him. He did this Friday show where he hit the post and asked people for tips and all this stuff. So now he's like a Rico rider, and like 6 months ago he's found God. So he goes on Montante's World, and he's talking about how the Earth's flat, how like human sacrifice is the way to do it.
In all seriousness,
he's being 100% serious. Like he's being 100% serious. He said he calls non-flat Earth ballers. He says the ballers he says the ballers bear the burden of proof. He says that demons exist. And I just have one clip just so you could get a taste into this guy, but let me just. Oh, sorry. One sec.
Close my eyes and I
look. So listen, this is him.
I don't think so, dude. I try to go to sleep and close my eyes and I see some contorted faces and stuff, and I, Jesus Christ, please protect me, and it stops. You think it? Both.
So this guy's like insane. He's a Rico writer. So he wants a show on the network about religion and flat Earth. Like, so do you think the Menor should sign off on the show? Is he like a prototypical Christian Catholic Rico rider saying the Earth's flat? All these outlandish stuff. Like, what do you think about this? I guess none of you guys listened to it. I would listen to it because it was nuts.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to I think Kirk has said that the only prerequisite for being on the network is that you listen to the show. So, but we have there are shows on here that have nothing to do with KMS.
Exactly. Yeah, I would give him a chance. Give him one or two episodes. See how it goes. Yeah.
Warden is saying, let him cook. Let hit the post cook. Wow.
I mean, maybe he's all right. Maybe when we all die, he was all right.
It is crazy. And the craziest part is, like, he was a huge KMS fan. He went to Portland. He wasn't into any of this stuff. And it's only been about 6 months ago, like, since Rico found God. Now he's found God and all this stuff. Okay. So it's crazy. So I'll really give it. Didn't the Conspiracy Pod back in the day do good for a little bit? Yes.
I think so. I think they did.
So if Menors will greenlight it, that'll be great. It was wild. Post bailed on the boys, never forget. Yes, that's so true. So a bad week for Gus. Like, I think it was a terrible week for Gus. And I have a few tweets before we get into it that I wanna from prominent figures. So the first is the Sharpest Cheddar. Everyone knows the Sharpest Cheddar account. He said, Big Steve, not Steve from Gloucester, used to talk about the hours and hours of bad radio he had to listen to every night, but Gus couldn't look into a 2-minute clip. Tough scene. Crazy. And you also have Ned Snark saying the lying, the laughing, the laziness of Andrew Augustus never ends. He is now a serious drag on the show. Time to cut him loose. So we're getting people now like really frustrated with Gus, and it's not really about his work ethic and like so. Steve, I guess you could defend Gus because that's all you can do. Right?
That's all I can really do. Yeah, I can say that before and after the show, he does put in a lot of work. And Justin, you're there. You see what he does. There's a lot of work to getting the show up. What he does during the show, though, I mean, that's for you guys to talk about more because I can't right now. But he definitely had a bad week, is all I'll say.
I guess. I mean, the thing that I don't understand is he says he does all these things, and I'm just I think this week really opened my eyes. I used to think like, oh, maybe he stretches the truth on a certain things. I do think that he's just a compulsive liar. I think he lies about everything, and his problem is that he has like one little white lie, and instead of
doesn't like
being,
admit it, he gets
instead of just being like, oh, you're right, he just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. Like I don't know.
Yeah, like you can see it. Like, sorry, my bad.
I don't think he listens to the majority of the clips he finds. I think, when the 2-minute clip by Menners goes and he goes, oh no, he just goes on for another minute and a half, and then I think it was either me or Mike was like, no, because Kirk goes, oh, does Jeff come on? Like, and I think Kirk knew that Jeff came on because he said Jeff probably texted him, hey, I'm doing something with Menners, blah blah blah, and we just to hear that, and then him just go, oh no, it's just Menners for the next minute and a half, and I was just like, no, it's not. Jeff comes on. Like, these are just things you need to know. And today when Kirk asked him, he's like, well, what did you lie about? And he said, oh, the only thing I can really think that I lied about was the Christmas Cullinane thing, which is just another if you listen back to yesterday's episode, he was adamant. He's like, no, I promise you, I wrote Cullinane down. I promise you.
Like that was so fucked up because like he clearly wrote Christmas. And it's sometimes like you are such a liar that you believe your own lies sometimes. And like at that moment, he believed his own lie, which is crazy.
I think so. I think it's natural for him to lie.
Justin,
go ahead.
When you produce, Justin.
No, I was just gonna say. Oh,
go ahead. My only question is, Justin, if you were to produce a show,
more questions
from your preparation? Are you in there at like 7? Like, how early before the show are you in, like developing the theme for the day?
Well, traffic's a motherfucker. I kind of live far away, so I'd probably get there around like 7.
But it gives you enough time to prepare and listen to clips and do all that stuff, right?
I guess.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what time like he comes in. Like, does he get there at like 9? Like,
well, I think he gets there earlier because if I remember correctly, like Coleman's the one who will like stroll in around like 8:30.
Yeah,
or so. Such
so I'm
like
wondering if that's being truthful. Like, does he come in that early, or is he showing up at
9? Steve, shut up. I mean, you can listen to clips anyway. You can listen to the audio at home. It doesn't matter. The fact is, you've just got to do the work. What were you going to say, cricket enjoyer? Because
oh no, it was back on back. Yeah, it's a very contentious argument. Clearly, like a lot of people getting in here. But no, I was just gonna say, like even today, like he doubled down on the Christmas Cullinane thing. Like even when he was caught and it was all over, he like tried to pull that like Goodwill Hunting shit. Like he was like, yeah, I connected the season, the L's, and that's how I knew. It's like no, that's not what happened. It's over.
Well, Montante brought it up today and it got overlooked. But Andrew Augustus is on record to be playing hours and hours of a power washer simulator. And Montante brings it up at the end of the show. Like, so this guy can play hours and hours of power washing simulators, but he can't listen to a 2-minute video of Menners. He can't listen to the Coleman 40-minute podcast. So it's and you could tell as soon as Montante brought up the power washer, Gus just completely starts talking about another thing because like there's the data out there. He's playing Power Wash simulators, and I hate to be a Kane rat on Gus, but it's just
that's a fun game, by the way.
There's a SpongeBob DLC for it, which is very fun. So
I gotta check that out. Have you done the lawnmower one?
No, but I like.
Oh, the lawnmower one fucking fucks, man. It's
but he just gets caught, and it's just lie after lie, and it's just. I think like Kirk said today, it's just we know what he is. He's just he just lies, and but it's funny when he fucks up. So I'm not sure.
And also today he didn't get the YouTube on time, as you heard in the producer show. Like he forgot to click it, and Coleman missed it too. But Cullinane Christmas, I can't. Or he has these racist tweets out there. Even the trolls, like all the troll show haters, are being like, "BA, how long are you talking about Gus today being incompetent?" It's getting to a point like. But I still believe I love Gus on the show because him being made fun of is great. But he's also a terrible producer in the sense like if you listen to him on Mount Kirkmore, his audio is terrible. Like Beanbag Ron could figure out how to use a Blue Yeti mic, and Augustus is fucking making all this background noise. It's wild, man. It's like, what do you think about all this?
Well, I mean, Gus has had a terrible week, and I don't want to pile on to him. I mean, because he's just moronic. I mean, when the 2-minute video thing is the one that's the killer, I think. Not watching a video for 2 minutes. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, can Gus come back from this? That's my question. Okay, you think he can? How does he do it, Justin?
He just, I think he continues by doing his silly stuff, but while, listening to more sound, getting the clips, making like when Kirk asks him something, next time if you don't have something or you don't know where it is, just say it. Of course he can. People have come back from worse. Like Kirk says, I cost Kirk $30,000. I know people will say like, "Oh, Justin, you're piling on Gus." Like, no, I'm a bigger retard than anyone in this world. But of course, there's coming back from everything. Dave came back from things. Steve came back. It's like Steve, like the cardinal sin of the show is like when you think about it, like Steve might have committed the biggest cardinal sin of the show. Like obviously, like money is money, and that's a lot. But like Steve once deleted audio.
Yeah.
Yes, deleted audio, and he came back from it, and now Kirk cemented him as a number 2 in the KMS history. Yes, the year of 2024.
Okay, you think he can come back? You think PRC, People's Republic of Coleman? Do you think Gus has it in him though to be more diligent? Like, does he actually have a brain that functions well enough for him to actually be efficient and listen to all of audio and make notes and then present it to Kirk on the show, or is he just too much of a retard?
That's why. No, I don't think he does technically, but I think that's what Coleman's for. And I think Gus has this, like, it's like Minty in the Barstool world. Gus has this like intrinsic entertainment value that you cannot like quantify. And it's like, there's this struggle right now of it's like incompetence as a producer, but this entertainment it factor that you can't put your thing. And eventually like the producer part will overtake the entertainment. I think it's somewhere down the road, but I mean, for now, I like the Coleman Gus tandem and how it all goes. And if Gus wants to suck at producing, that's all well and good as long as I laugh my ass off when he talks.
Well, that's the thing. This is also different because there's 2 producers there. So I mean, if Gus comes in, it came in this week and said, "Nope, I got nothing. Nope, I got nothing," and then he doesn't help with the audio or anything. I mean, Coleman is still able to do that, so he's in a different position where, or Steve or Dave did that in the past. It's like, well, then you're fucked. So like,
exactly, there
is a little bit more of a buffer there.
Steve, did Santa Claus save Gus? Like, if this happened in August, September, this last week, does Kirk just go, "You're fired, look for a job"? But because Santa's due Christmas time, do you think Kirk decided, well, I can't fire someone before such a holy holiday?
Kirk said it today. He doesn't want to start the process over again because he said if I get rid of Gus, then it becomes a bit because then I have to do the whole producer search again. So I think Christmas does have a little bit to play in it, but I think he just doesn't want to move on because, again, it's the bit thing. Is this a bit? Is he going to do the whole thing over again?
But do you think he does? I don't think he needs to start it over again. He'll get Mick.
Steve, do you see this as an opportunity for you? Another opportunity?
Absolutely
for
not. No. I'm too old for this.
You?
You wouldn't do it as like a side job?
I
You're an
couldn't. No,
entrepreneur.
it's the weekends that would do me. Like I could like live shows and all that. I have a life on weekends. With my daughter, so I couldn't break away from doing that stuff. But if 20 years ago, if I was 27,
Steve, I was joking.
I know.
Joking.
Would you
Do you like Amazon Flex, Steve?
What?
Do you like Amazon Flex? Isn't that what you said you did?
Oh, Amazon like seller? Yeah,
Yeah.
Make a lot of money on it.
All right, I was just side hustles I've always been interested in, and that was
Yeah.
Well, this could be a week of redemption for Gus.
We should send that water bottle to Montante.
Yeah.
This could be like a week of redemption for Gus. He said, "Be aware for content on his Twitter, on the Twitter account." I think this week, because in years past, the off week has always been like, "Oh, that's all you did." Like that was the week, that was a year in a review. So I think this is an opportunity. If I'm Gus, I take this week as an opportunity. Like, oh, a free week of content. Let me do as much as possible. So like I show that. I work hard, because I think it's not about him on the show. I think on him on the show, he's all right. It's about what he does after the show. His work ethic is being called into question for sure. And his laziness.
But yeah, I was very surprised. And this is another sort of thing to his instinct, that when he picked, one cut from my interview with Jeff D-Low to play, he wanted to play me talking about Kelly Keegs, which was not particularly entertaining or funny. It was just me being a stupid idiot and making bad jokes. Whereas there was some good stuff in there about Rico, about the dozen, about Jeff and Kirk's friendship. Like that stuff would have been more interesting for listeners of KMS than me making my, 10,000th perverted joke for the year. So
I did laugh.
Yeah, but you see my point though, that if you give him one clip to play, me being an idiot is probably not the one to pick.
I will say, was the Kelly Fleet, was that early on in the episode?
No, it was like an hour in or something.
Okay, because I just didn't know if.
But maybe someone sent because I think Gus is people probably send Gus stuff.
No, he asked me. He reached out to me and said, "Can you send me the audio of the interview when it's ready so I can cut it up?" So I sent him the raw the audio. So he had it.
Yeah, so I think this week, the wrap up or the wrap up the year in review show. How does Gus perform there? What is Gus or Coleman or the producers going to do this week while Kirk's off or the show's off to provide content to the Minifans? And I think that Gus, it could go both either way for Gus.
Coleman's going to be sucking dick.
Coleman's going to be sucking dick. So nice. People's Republic of Coleman. Were you into Coleman because you're pro LGBT and all that stuff, and you're happy to have someone from that community in the producer chair, in a prominent position, lead producer of the Kirk Minahan show, clearly queer individual?
I mean, it is always nice to have someone an ally on your side there. Sometimes in that community, it can feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, and it's nice to someone's there in your hole with you. It's nice, yeah.
Beautiful. So, what did you? Another thing this week, and I like this idea of the Twitter accounts. So I like having the fan run the Twitter account for 24 hours. So we had Steve from Gloucester, the Paisan, very funny, but almost like he ran it like he didn't run it as like he's running the Kirk Minahan show Twitter account. He ran it like he's running the Consistency podcast Twitter account.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah,
Steve from Gloucester. So which was still very funny, and you got a lot of interaction, but is there a lot of longevity? And then there was Dave in Maryland, and I thought he did an excellent job. I forgot that Kirk gave a Minifan the Twitter account. I remember looking at Twitter and being like, holy shit, the Twitter's really good today. What's going on? And then eventually I remember David from Maryland was running it. So it's clear that there's certain fans that could run the Twitter account better than the actual producer. So I think this is, I don't know if you give it to David full time, but I think this is a good bit or a good thing that you could keep going.
But I think it kind of showed in that Shock Minahan thing where he said that I think Gus and Coleman in 1 week only had 7 tweets or something. So I think that's Kirk's way of maybe trying to tell them, like, hey, you have to pay attention to Twitter a little bit more.
I like that you said on the consistency podcast, your goal was volume.
That's all I tried to do. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, just trying to do a little bit more.
Shoot or shoot, man.
Shoot. But Justin, what did you think? Did you like this?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think there's giving it to a Minifan, maybe one Minifan a week gets it for a day, and they can just kind of go wild and do their own thing. I think there's a couple of great accounts that would be great, like Don the Jeweler.
Don
Don the Jeweler, PGA Minahan, like David and Marilyn. Like, if to have a rotation, I don't know. It's kind of like a mini producer search. We could, kind of turn it into like a
that's true.
AMS Twitter search.
Okay, who can
anyone but John from Scranton.
It would be a dubstep music and like
weird post that no one finds funny, or
it's like I think it's like the swinger side in him comes out in some of his social media clips.
Is he a swinger? BA. So what did you say? Is he a swinger?
Allegedly, I've heard that he vibes. How many live Troll King Sneaks is asking how many live shows has Steve from Gloucester been to?
None. Just the Vigil. I've never been to a live show.
Oh, the Vigil. Yes.
Even the one after the
pathetic.
Vigil?
No, I didn't go to that either. I have to go to one though. I will.
You're a fucking loser. You should be kicked out of the
I learned
show
from
for
you.
That was a good point that was brought up today.
I've been to 2 live shows. And I live in Australia.
Yeah, that's bad. I have to go.
Someone said, "How can Jeff D. Lowe?"
You should see it as an opportunity, you fucking idiot.
I know. I'm gonna go. Relax. I'll be there.
Sorry, Justin.
Well, it's Christmas time. Come on, Paisan.
Yeah.
No, what's he doing?
How can Jeff D. Lowe like that? That would be his only knock against him for Minifan of the Year. I think Jeff D. Lowe is that he's never been to a live show before.
Well, so the Minifan of the Year, I have a couple.
Why did your voice go really high there? Are you really upset?
Did my voice get high? Because I'm passionate.
You must be upset. You must be upset.
So again, I think the Minifan of the Year, because Menners did this is a little bit of a gripe with Menners. He said that there'll be Kirk's Minifan of the Year, then the network Minifan, and then Menners kind of just put it all together. Where I thought people like Gus and Justin should be considered in the network Minifan of the Year, and I thought we could have done a bracket. And my bracket was
I hate your bracket.
It was a good bracket, so I'll say it.
It's not GVE. We don't need your fucking brackets here.
The bracket was good, so I'll say
let's hear it.
It was Justin on one side of the bracket, Justin the 1 seed versus Montante, and then BA versus Menners. On the other side of the bracket, it was Gus versus Steve from Gloucester, and Patrick Ford versus Jeff D. Lowe. So I thought that was a decent 8 that we could have done. But I think Jeff D. Lowe, if you're saying recency bias, Jeff D. Lowe, like admitted in Menners Live, Minifandom, that he just got into the show on the producer search. So that's like a quarter of the year,
Yeah, but also like I do think he's definitely gotten more into the show than the producer search, but he was still listening for months and months.
Deserving winner.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying,
but BA, shut up. What swung it for me was I put out a fan vote on the network, and it was unanimously Jeff Lowe. There was over 500 votes. It was
they were all
60-70% were Jeff Lowe.
That's not unanimous.
Yeah.
No, but it was.
It's the next one was 20%, Justin. So it's not like it was okay. Jeff and say me neck and neck, and we need to do a bracket. Then
I actually thought that Menners, you should have been Minifan of the Year because you had a full year.
I agree.
Full year. You brought back the network.
Yep.
You countless things, countless show topics.
100%.
You've been to live shows. I know not this year, but always doing wrap-up shows on the live show. So that my pick would have been Menners, I think.
I agree. I deserve
Menners and Menners. I think Bean Bad Ron had a great Mount Rush Kirk as Menners, BA, Justin. Those are his top 3. So I think
and then wasn't it John Pelletier if he had gotten married or something?
No, I think that was Nick Fuss Daddy. I think he had. I forget who his 4th was, but
the Cheeks. Wasn't it Cheeks?
I actually DM'd Gus, and I think I DM'd you. I think a good idea for the next year Black Friday sale is a Minifan yearbook, like where you get, like, you know what I mean, like like a yearbook style. Because I think people would buy that. I don't know, and it's kind of a. What do you think, Justin? You think it's not?
I'd buy it. I think it'd be funny to have like a yearbook like in my house, like nice hardcover, and people go like, "Oh, what is that? Is that your, is that your 8th grade, class yearbook?" And I'm like, no, it's the Minifan yearbook.
Yeah, and I also was thinking like it would be funny if people brought it to live shows and got other Minifans to sign it. Like
that's a really funny idea. Like getting like a yearbook, and like you can have like a quote on there, or like your favorite episode, a little bit about you. You could have like a different club page where it could be like
I like that.
The Mike and the Minifans page.
Yeah, like yeah, you make it like a real yearbook. Yeah, exactly.
It could be a 5-year anniversary book, like, go have all the characters on them.
Yeah. So I texted Gus that. Maybe I should text Cole. Gus was like, "Oh, great idea," and I'm sure like he probably is gonna get fucking stoned and forget about it. So. but I thought that's what I wanted to say to you. I thought that could be... What'd you say, Manners?
Nothing. That going.
Nothing. But I also think it's funny that Gus is kind of the alpha on the producer show. Like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like Gus is kind of guiding the conversations. He's so much different on the producer show than he is on KMS. Like, I don't know.
He's a lot more relaxed. That's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot more relaxed. Yeah, easier to talk to without Kirk in the room. That's for sure.
I think he's relaxed on the regular show too. I never see him get like stressed, even when like Kirk's yelling at him. I see him just kind of like laughing it off. Maybe that's just like a form of stress, but like I don't know. I'm only halfway through the producer show. You guys just you guys just finished talking about like Portuguese food versus Italian.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
Great. I'd say it was a decent producer show. People's Republic of Comedy. What are your thoughts on like what are your thoughts? Because you've been very quiet. Like you're just sipping your water out there with your salmon shirt.
Chugging that water. I love it.
Yeah.
I just like taking it all in with my salmon shirt. You're very interested in my salmon shirt.
No, I'm saying like, what are your thoughts though? Do you have thoughts? And people in the chat are loving it.
But like
People's Republic of Comedy is heating up the joint. So
I came to bring the action, but I said it before, like my opinion on Gus is like I think he has a short shelf life, but I think he's entertaining as fuck. It's like I'm just along for I in terms of like a producer thing. I like I said before, like I think that's why they have Coleman, and like I just like what Gus brings to the table right now, and
Where is that noise coming from?
It has to be from PRC. Something's clicking on your side.
You clicking something?
Like clicking, yeah. Like
I'm clicking nothing. Look at my hands.
I think it's
we can see your hands. Where's your mic? PRC?
Probably here. Maybe here.
Well,
I don't know. My computer shut down. I had to get on my phone, so.
Okay.
I'm on a makeshift. What? Can you hear me?
Keith Richards live said, "Who is this idiot?"
I'm just gonna mute.
Keep on going.
I'll just mute what I will call him when we mute it. So Mutt snubs the network. Yeah, it is. Actually, I got a source saying that Don the Jeweler is red.
Really? Well, Montante said that today.
I have another source saying Don the Jeweler is red. Mayo famously said, "Who's Don the Jeweler?" Maybe he knew something, right? So Don the Jeweler is he red for Maine, trying to make a comeback.
I don't think so. I've talked to Don the Jeweler before, and he I think I forget who I accused him of being, but I think it was Gus and Coleman said he was someone. Let me see here, and I was just like, I just wanted to double check, make sure you're not. They thought he might have been Cain is Abel. So I just messaged him. I was like, "Hey, are you Cain is Abel?" And he's like, "Absolutely not." He's like, "I will send you my ID that will prove that who I am." And I was like, "Yeah, you don't got to do that." So I don't think that's.
It's too entertaining to be Cain.
Yeah. Plus, like he knows how to cut clips and stuff. Like Cain doesn't seem like that. Steve, you said on the producer show, but Cain is like I feel like he's trying to follow in your footsteps.
Yeah,
not doing the best
doing a good job of it at all. He had like a 2-minute rant on one of the platforms today. about just this long-winded rant, and it's just I don't buy it. I think he's trying too hard.
I think his jokes. I think he's trying to be
If
funny,
you're-
but
if
his
you're
jokes
saying
don't
that-
land.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just,
and he's
I
saying
was just
that,
going to say,
yeah.
Steve, isn't that like how you kind of got into the world was by doing
Yeah,
these
but
long-winded
he's going
rants?
over the top though. Like this is too much. Like
You
I
sent a
wouldn't
letter
go
to the studio.
but Justin, I wouldn't show up in like a bowling alley though. That just is a little too much.
Well, if you showed up, I'm sure the Italian and you would have to go say, "Hey, well, how's it going, Paisan?"
Justin,
Give the
he just
Italian
like, was
kiss.
staring at him and wouldn't say anything to him, and that to me is a little. That's way over the top for me.
Hmm.
I didn't like the Chucky doll today in the video on Twitter.
I have no idea.
I feel like it was kind of like breaking the fourth wall in a little bit.
The Chucky doll? I have no idea.
Who's
I have no
that?
idea what that is.
Kane did a video and like Chucky doll was in the
Oh,
background.
that video, yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
I didn't
seen
like
this
the
yet.
Chucky doll. Because serial killers shouldn't be like self-aware. That's like the creepy stalker ones. They're always kind of like they think.
I don't know.
So I love psychology. So stalkers and creepy ones, they always think that they're in the right. Like they justify what they're doing is right and everything. They don't think they're a stalker, creepy serial killers. So when he put Chucky in there, it was kind of like, hey, I get what everybody's saying, and it broke the fourth wall for me in a way.
Beyond Average Mick with a great comment. He says, "PRC
MVP
People's
of the week.
Republic of Coleman looks like a younger Newman from Seinfeld."
It's a good call.
All right, on. Yeah.
I will say I don't know if we're going to get to it, but I think the MVP of the week would be Beyond Average Mick in my eyes.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he had a great show
It was a great
yesterday. I
week.
think the stuff with his brother was very wildly entertaining.
Great
I
week.
think the idea of Mick Bait would be great. I do think it would be very funny if
Yeah.
it turns out Mick, I think he said he pretended to be like a 17-year-old boy, which is above the age of consent. And then some guy just ends up like showing up to this hotel room and then like Mick Bait, all it does is it just outs this guy
Yeah.
trying to have like just
You just
outs
outed
this
a gay
dude.
guy. You just
It'd
outed a gay
be
guy.
pretty funny. Nothing's illegal.
Mix and the guy. Imagine the guy ends up coming over. He's like some 20-year-old dude. So it's only like 4 years or whatever.
It'd be very funny. But I think Mick was great yesterday. Even like
Really good.
the back and forth on the whole like top 5 NBA centers thing, which I know some people like, oh, sporty, blah blah blah. But I think Mick was great, like going back and forth on.
Do you think Kirk is kind of regretting choosing Gus as opposed to Mick in that like kind of
Yes.
why?
Yes.
Because
100%.
Mick is clearly has. I think Mick has better technical skills than Gus after seeing Gus on the network and all this stuff, and he's funnier on air. He could get beat up. So is this 2024 the year of Mick, like to slide into that producer role? And I don't even think Gus will be able to book Al like on the show. Like I don't think Gus can even book Al for the show. So
I will say, I mean, if we're gonna talk shit on Augustus being a liar and things like that, I did think Mick had a great point this show this week. But I will say, like his whole thing, like was just lying constantly and just making things up during the producer search. So I mean, we can't forget about that. But no, I do think Mick had a great week. But I don't think Kirk's regretting the decision. I think if he did regret the decision, he would have just straight up said.
yeah.
I guess Augustus should do what you do and just disappear when it gets too hot. Is that what he should do, Justin?
I guess.
No mental health leaves for Justin or Mick or Kirk this year.
Kirk, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Did anybody have Mick's side? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did anybody have Mick's side in the argument? Yes. Yeah, I did too.
I kind of did. I understand like his brother is trying to like interject himself. I understand like the whole like, hey, just shut up. I do get the whole the side of being like, hey, listen, like I get, I'm just being passionate for you, Mick, who like let me boo and things like that. But I get if it was kind of like, hey, like this isn't about you. Like
yeah, he's had like his big brother taking his back all the time, so he finally wants to like sink or swim on his own. I get that. Like
I think it's kind of like I think like getting mad at your brother for booing is kind of a little bit like
that's
the DMing the show account over and over is kind of like, okay, can you stop doing that? Because that could actually be concerning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Al had a great call, and him saying that it wasn't a rock through the window, like a rock went through the lawnmower. And
It was great content. It was best show of the week. It was really good.
It was great. But speaking of bullshit, Stevie bullshit today, where he blatantly steals like a game from TikTok or social media.
I've never been on TikTok.
Yeah, but it was from social media. Like
You've seen these before.
But we're just saying TikTok. I'm like, I've never been on TikTok, but I did research how to do it. But it wasn't like he's like, you went on TikTok. I'm like, I've never.
I completely made this game up.
He had me on
From Google.
That was a low moment. That was.
Yeah, like Stevie bullshit comes in here. He's like, "Oh, I made up this unique game."
Got me.
So, BA, you just kind of moved off something before. Mutt is a real prick.
Yeah,
Mutt snubbing the network. I don't know. You went from Mutt to Don the Jeweler in one sentence. Great hosting, but Mutt fucking sucks. I mean, he's such a snob. The way he looks down at the Minifans, all the Minifans should be upset. You should all take this as an insult to you, not me, you, the Minifans, because this is what Mutt thinks of all of you. This is all of you. All 100,000 of you, he thinks you're nothing but, a stain on his underwear or a little fly that he can flick away. So I think it's a really bad look from Mutt. And, more people should be like Jeff Lowe. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he snubs the network yet again. He says, I'm not going on the network. I don't care. Like it's sad. It's very sad for this guy who, like Kirk said, he's a poor man's Mike Greenberg. Yeah. He's like he has this Substack that's 99% Minifans and whatever family he has that he makes that stupid fucking mashed potatoes for. Yeah. And it's like, go on the network, go sit down with the CEO.
Would an hour be that bad? Would an hour
Even you guys, if he genuinely doesn't like me, which he said on the show, that's fine. Don't come on Minifandom. Come on Mike and the Minifans with you. Go on Quantum Kirk. Say, I'm not going to sit down with you. I'll go on another show. Fine. No problem. But, I know, like, he needs a lot of money to feed Carter. So if he can grow the Substack, then, maybe, he can, get some help on those huge food bills to stuff his fat kid's face.
And Ricky Slick says Mutt only cares about himself. That's why he's a drunk driver. It's kind of seeming like
it's a selfish thing to do. But I will say the truth here probably lies somewhere in the middle. I do think that, like, if he doesn't want to go on the network, he doesn't want to do outside things. Like, I mean, it's completely up to him. It isn't a good look. I'll say that. There's definitely nothing. Only good can come from coming out of the network, but perhaps maybe he doesn't want to come on here and say something and think he's going to get entrapped by either Menners or someone else and make him look stupid with Kirk and they jeopardize that opportunity. But I do think Kirk is right too, where I think Kirk has said that Mutt will turn his back on the Minifans like as soon as he gets a job. Like whether it's like even if it's a job where they're like, maybe like don't go on the show with this crazy ex radio personality Minahan, even though he's like your best friend and all that stuff. I don't think he would ever fight against it, or like if the Minifans were to, leave his world tomorrow, I don't think he would miss it. I don't think he would be I still think he would be playful, but I don't think he would be engaged. I think it would be like Jeff Below level involvement, Rico level involvement, and then there's like Mutt level involvement.
Agree.
Do you think that's kind of why he's like not as engaged with the networks and stuff, because he still has like that foot in the door of old radio?
But he said it on the show when he was asked about it. He said, I'm nice to the Minifans, like we're all a fucking charity case. I mean, he's just like Kevin Clancy, the way he treats us. He's no different, and he gets a pass because he's Kirk's friend. That's it.
And he does he's like watching Mike and the Minifans because he's talking about stuff directly from Mike and the Minifans. Yeah,
he listens to everything,
and he's listening to this, and it's like I really don't get it. And Suburban, I call him Subaru, but Suburban Tuck Time says he's a poor man's KFC. I don't even know if you could be a poor man's KFC because KFC is such a loser.
Jesus, you do not like KFC.
No, you don't.
One takeaway I got from this show.
Yeah, you don't like him at all, huh?
Oh, but KFC is a grade A loser. Like that's why I want Kirk to just rip him, because he handles KFC with kid gloves. Like KFC saying, hey, if you're a fan of Kirk over me, then you must be a crazy man. Like
But
that is
also, KFC said something about, if you could do, one thing entertaining that's not being mean to Kirk or something like that. And like Kirk has more talent in his little finger than KFC has, completely. And Kirk can be funny. He can, he can do everything. Kirk. He can do interviews. He can do interviews better than KFC. And KFC thinks he's, Mark Maron now. He's funnier than KFC. He's just so much better than KFC in every way. It was infuriating listening to him talk down to Kirk.
it was.
Yeah, and I do think Kirk has plenty of content that isn't. If you just want to dumb it
Absolutely.
down and say it's making fun of me, I mean, look at the case. I guess you could say he was going after Boston, but I really wouldn't consider that going after someone. You look at the interviews he does. You look at the dozen. He's great on the dozen. He's a heel there. I guess people could say, oh, he's mean. So I don't know, but I think he's wildly entertaining. And yeah, I mean, it is really all like Kevin wants to kind of be the opposite of Dave, I think, where Dave, people's like assholes tighten up around Portnoy when he walks around. I think he wants to be the cool guy that like people can go to and be like, hey, what's up? Oh, yo,
Yeah.
damn player, you I see the jacket you're wearing today. Like that. That's how he like talks around like these cool young kids.
Yeah, he kind of does
wants
like,
to be the anti Portnoy.
Yeah, he's a loser. Like whoever said before, he was a better husband than a content creator. Like that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Is
All
John
right,
here?
BA, do you have any? We'll knock some people out before we take calls. Do you have any more topics you want to bring up?
No. I just want nothing really. I did
Okay,
want to
Right.
yeah.
You
I
go.
wanted to say Buon Natale,
Buon
Buon
Natale.
Natale to the paisans out there, to everyone. Actually, it's Christmas time. It doesn't matter who you are. Great year of KMS. We'll take your calls.
All right, Steve. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Steve
thank you.
Costa.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Enough Steve this week. Enough Steve for a lifetime, probably. People's Republic of Coleman, thanks so much for coming on. Why are you a cricket lover?
I've always loved cricket ever since I
Oh,
was a
great.
kid, especially
Wow.
when they came out with like the T20s instead of the test.
Mm.
The test is just too much going on, too many days.
Okay.
So when they came
All
out
right,
with the
well,
T20 format,
Let's talk
You
offline
asked.
about this. No.
Fair enough.
I agree. No, let's
I
talk
mean, you
offline about
asked, and then you're like, "Shut up."
it. No, what? Don't be so sensitive.
I'm not sensitive.
Thanks for coming on.
All right,
Bye-bye.
man.
He's
All
just
right.
little by
yeah.
little chugging away at that water. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to take calls? And I'm only going to be here for about half an hour. Then I'm going to go.
Let's take calls. We'll take some calls.
John, what's
we got
this
the number.
beef we had? John, what are you upset about?
I'm not upset.
Oh, because you had Menace is a dead man all week, and I was like,
Yeah, well, I was
didn't
just
do anything.
fucking, no, they were saying I hated you. Of course, I'm going to take advantage of that and say I hate you. I mean, you did cancel the show for a week. I should be offended about that, right?
What was that?
You canceled this show for a week, so fuck you, bitch.
No, Menace live's done. This is just the end of Mike and the
I
Can we
told-
go over?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, can we go over Kirk's predictions for at the end of the show today? He had some predictions for 2024 that I heard them touch on the producer show a little bit.
Yeah. So I didn't write them down. So one was there would be something with Mike.
Yeah, there would be falling out with Mike, and I heard the producers talking about this a little bit, and I truly just think this is just, I don't think there was anything like people want. What was the catalyst of the whole Rico movement? I think people think there's some catalyst with the Mike thing, and I just don't. I think this is just Kirk just saying this just to say it. Like, I don't think there's anything brewing between Mike and the show. I think Mike has shown his loyalty time and time again. People forget that when it early in the year, when the whole thing with Jerry Callahan ticked off, and he retweeted the thing about gay people can't adopt or whatever, and Kirk had the 7-minute episode. Like, Mike was ready to fire Craig because of this, and obviously cooler heads prevailed and things like that. But like, Mike has shown like he's very loyal to Kirk. He'll do anything. Maybe if it's like choose between Kirk and Alba, he'll choose Alba. But other than that, I really think that there's nothing that.
I think Mike's too big, and I don't want to say a pussy, but I think Mike's too scared to do something that Kirk will disapprove of. Like my example always is he wouldn't let Hack Ride go on the 420 show because he thought he was going to say something that Kirk would then take like as Mike, and it's like,
Well, yeah, I think he's very.
So I think he's too vanilla.
No, I wouldn't call it vanilla, but I think he just doesn't want to get into the bad graces of Kirk, and I think he does his best to do that. And even when there's a situation that's out of his control, like he has no control what goes on with Jerry Callahan and Kirk's relationship.
I think my prediction is one of the producers won't be there by the end of the year.
That's I do think I would agree with that.
I think one. I don't know who, but I think one.
No.
No, because I think Gus will just be like, I'm not leaving. I don't think unless Gus does something really fucked up, he won't get fired. Like he can't be fired for being an idiot because he's
I think it'll be a Cullinane situation. I think it'll be Kirk getting him to a point where he just leaves.
Yeah, I just don't know if Gus could get to that point though.
I don't
I
either.
mean, you see it when he's getting berated, he just laughs. He's just like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm not going anywhere. It's just it's tough to.
Keith Richards liver said, "BA, you're very handsome, but never call Blind Mike a pussy." I'm saying he's a pussy in regards to Kirk. Like I'm not saying he's like. I'm saying in regards to Kirk. So like.
So do you think if Kirk said to Mike, for whatever reason, if you want to stay on KMS, you've got to stop Why Are You Laughing? Do you think Mike would stop Why Are You Laughing? Or would stop KMS?
That's a fucking unreasonable request there. Yes, I do think. I think if like obviously if Kirk was like, hey Mike, you're going to come on the show, but you can't promote anything and there's nothing you can make money from, you have to quit podcasting. I think that would be a different conversation. But I think that like short of that, I do think when it comes to content, I do think that Mike would do anything.
I don't think Mike quits Why Are You Laughing. I think
never would.
I think now he's making a decent like. I
can't see a world in which Kirk comes to.
Why is you laughing? Like I was watching, it had like 250 live viewers watching. I was like,
dude, their audience is huge now because Mike does all that stuff with those other guys and shit.
Oh, because not because of Kirk. Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, no,
that's great. There's great for Mike. Yeah, because it seemed I was looking at the chatters. It's like a whole different crowd of people. Like it's not. I don't think it's really Minifans. So that's good for Mike. Kirk isn't going to do that. What the fuck are we even?
I know that is a.
What if? Okay, well, what if the show would get an enemy would have sponsored the show, or some other company would have buy.
Like what if Bombas Socks like offers Mike?
I can tell you exactly
$5,000 a month.
I can tell you
something
exactly
like that. That's like it wants to be the premium sponsor of Blind Mike's project. What is he saying? Because $5,000 a month is good, Like,
yeah, I don't want to speak for Mike, but what I'm telling you is I am very certain that he would just be like, no.
No, okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but Mike is very loyal to Kirk. He's been, I think he knows that Kirk really has helped him out in his career a lot, and he owes everything to him.
Yes, call in.
I think that if
yeah, Mom,
if it's someone minor,
John, before Mike and the Minifans, BA said you were a swinger.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I said.
Yeah.
Any plans for Portland? Like, do you get like a?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Isn't there a crew of Minifans that are swingers that were prominent at an event?
I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them hit me up.
Getting into the horny. I remember it was what was that week long? It was when the show was on vacation. It was when, what was it called?
The Minifan Mash. The Minifan
Mash.
like
Minifan Madness or something like that. I remember there was a show every night, and eventually it just devolved into horny talk.
I'm getting
flashbacks of
Justin. I was in that chat, and then I put Jay's Mayhem in the chat, and then the whole chat blew up, and Manners was so mad. He was like, "The girls are getting horny in there. What do you do?"
Yeah, it was I'm getting flashbacks right now of.
Yeah, that was funny. They were, but the girls were getting horny.
You got a call from 860.
860. Welcome to Menner's Live.
No, it's
hosted
Mike
by
and the
BA.
Minifans. It's Mike and the Minifans.
Are you guys watching Reacher?
Oh, with Thad Castle in it, Alan Richardson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I want to start.
No, I'm
Pretty
not.
good.
I'm not watching it. Slow Horses.
Is this
Pretty good.
Andrew? Sounds like Andrew.
Andrew,
What's up, Andrew?
Sounds like Andy.
how are you fellas?
This is not Andy Mayo. This is Andy Mayo.
Wait, it's Mayo?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, hey, Mayo.
Andy Mayo. I'm watching Reacher.
I got that. I got that gene.
Wow.
I can tell a caller.
Yeah, Justin nailed that. You want to go
Person's-
play Halo?
Mayo,
I'm gonna play Halo after.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Mayo, what do you think about the allegations that Don
level 4.
Mayo, what do you think about the allegations that Don the jeweler is red for Maine?
Red is on my short list of suspects.
Uh-oh. Heard it here
Yep.
first, folks.
I could see it. I could see it being red.
What's your thoughts on
I kind of thought
Gus's?
Ziggy at the beginning, but Don has more fight and more balls than Ziggy does.
What's your thought on this Gus behavior that's been going on?
Troubling.
It's
Troubling. Very troubling. Very troubling. I like Gus a lot, but I just personally I have a really hard time with people that lie in a professional setting. So
Yeah.
I was disappointed by that.
Okay. Thanks, man.
That's a good point.
Typical
You-
HR
are you guys-
response that would
can we-
definitely do.
Can we go around the room though? Is anyone watching Reacher?
Carl said no.
Hang up on this call. please. Thanks,
Uh,
Andy.
If it's me
Thanks,
running the
Andy.
calls, I'll talk to them forever.
617.
Merry
You're up.
Christmas,
Oh.
Merry Christmas to you and your big mom.
Buon Natale.
Merry Christmas, Moshes. How we doing?
Hey,
We're doing
Dan.
great.
I got a take on Jeff D'Lo. It's going to be unpopular, but I think he's just using the Minifans just like Rico Bosco. And
Okay.
2024 will all come out. I mean,
Really?
think about it. Kirk's the number one player on his show. You don't think it's going to behoove him to be nice to the Minifans to get in there?
So you think it's like the commissioner is fraternizing with like the top
The talent.
the talent, like it's Goodell, and if Goodell and Brady were kind of in cahoots.
I don't know if it's. I just think he's kind of kissing Kirk's ass, getting in with the Minifans. I think he's friends with Kirk, but I think it helps him out. I think probably more Minifans watch that show than anyone. You know.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I think the Minifans are great, but I do think, and I do think Kirk is a big part of the dozen, but I do think that the dozen is is kind of like a barstool show that people who watch the dozen aren't.
Well-
I would say that the
I've
people
got-
who are
I've got a
the people
story
who are
that-
watching the Caroline versus Vibs. Oh, did I freeze?
A little bit, but it's kind of funny.
The people who are watching the Caroline versus Vibs video of the dozen. I don't
Screenshot.
think
Someone
Minifans are
screenshot
really,
that.
You got it.
doing that.
That's a great screenshot.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe you're right, Justin, but I don't know. I just got a feeling
You could be right.
Rico was completely using the Minifans, and they wouldn't even let me go on Healthy Debate. They kept cutting me out like 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
that's
people
tough.
are
That's
saying
tough.
that they're fucking you over on that show, Dan.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, anyway, boys, listen, keep up the good work. I don't think Jeff Lowe should be Minifan of the Year. I think that's ridiculous. But
All
whatever. It is what it is.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
But all right, boys. Merry Christmas. Have a good
Peace.
one.
Merry
Have
Christmas.
some newness.
Alex,
I've got another 617 here.
I've got a
the,
story.
the,
right
the
anyway.
final Mike and the Minifans of the year. You're on with BA, the host of Menner's Live tonight.
It's not Menner's
God
Live.
bless.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's great. I just wanted to say, yeah, when I called, it said it was the John from Scranton show.
Yeah, I changed it.
Am I listening to the John? All right, whatever.
Yeah, I changed it.
I just wanted to say,
Thanks,
Jeff Newton's right. Rico has shunned us. Rico left us in the chat. Like, Rico left us alone here, and you can look at his, I guess, whatever is going on over there.
I'm taking Rico's side
but I'm
on
a little
this.
upset that we didn't have the whole squad here. I would have loved to ask the PRC some questions, maybe Stevie. Menners, I appreciate what you do at Minifan. I'm doing all right. but I would have loved a little more humor out of you. And then that's all I'll leave it at.
You're so funny. This
Thank you.
call's been electric.
Great call.
That's a great point.
No,
That's a great point.
Drive off a road. Drive off. A
Great
road.
call. Yes, I did.
I've got a story for you. So
Am I still
to talk
frozen?
about.
Yeah, it's great. Turn your camera off
the-
and turn it back on.
My screen is on full screen and I can't do anything.
Manners, before you do your story, can we fix this camera?
You can leave. Try to leave and come back. Maybe
It's the worst.
Hey.
It just the dozen's international because I walked into the cricket yesterday, and one of the other cricket journalists said to me, "Why were you interviewing Jeff Lowe from the Dozen?" He follows Jeff on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Seen my interview. So Dan, it's international. The Dozen. He said he was a big fan of the Dozen.
I actually think that I think it's the opposite. I don't think Jeff D. Lowe. I think Jeff D. Lowe just tries to get everyone to like him. I don't think he's trying to use anyone. But he obviously, and he even said
He
it.
loves
his
the show.
relationship-
Why can't he just love the show? Why do you have to rag on him? He just loves.
I'm
the
not
show.
ragging on him. I'm saying
He
he
hates
said his relationship kind of started with Kirk through the Dozen, and now the producer search got him to be like a hardcore fan. And I think that's good. I like that. I think he's not like Rico, who clearly doesn't listen to the show and just is like using it for what he's using the Minifans. Whereas Jeff D. Lowe, I think, is more authentic. But I don't think he should be Minifan of the year. And I don't even buy his bullshit like, oh, I'm kind of the talent, so I shouldn't be considered. Like you could be considered, and you should like if you put Jeff D. Lowe and Menners on Minifan of the year, Menners has to win that, I have to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the call that said that Jeff is using the Minifans. I don't think he has some.
No,
I do think I don't think he's going to not accept Minifans becoming fans of the things he does. But like he's so into this. Like let me tell you, like he's more into it than like anyone else.
He's the right type of Minifan. He's like a paranoid Minifan. He doesn't want to fuck with Kirk. Like that's a good spot to be in for D'Lo.
I've been saying on Mike of the Minifans for weeks about how Jeff D'Lo stock's rising and rising, and it rose to Minifan of the year. People might say that I helped guide him through this process. So,
I called it early on Twitter. I just want to say that.
Okay.
Called it early. Then I took it back though. So.
So I think anyone call in. It's the last live show of 2023 on the network. A great year for the network. Oh, I wanted to bring this up too. I don't know if you heard this. So you remember Hit the Post, Menners?
You're bringing this up again?
I heard.
No, because he wants to do a show on the network about flat Earth religion.
Why not?
Montante's world. Like, would you let a show like that go on if he recorded it, put it on?
I'd run that by the boss. I'd run that by Kirk.
He says some crazy. He says some crazy. No, I think that's fair because Hit the Post he's talking about like human sacrifices and shit. He's insane now. It's crazy.
He does?
He calls non-flat Earth, so anti-flat Earth people, he calls them ballers. He said ballers bear the burden of proof.
I'm just wondering. I'll go around the room because you all must be. This must be an internal struggle you're all feeling of sadness. I'll start with you, Bear. How are you feeling now that Patty Amesbury stepped away from the 420 show? Do you cry yourself to sleep? Are you up your medication? How are you feeling about that?
Well, as you know, Pat today had a beautiful baby girl. So that was why he left. And I think Pat does have the stability in the 420 show. I don't know if it'll ever be the same without Pat. I'm a 420 show viewer, actually, sometimes. I actually listen. I've been on it. Ward of the North actually said that Hit the Post would have a top 3 show on the network if you let him on. So,
yeah, I said I'm going to ask Kirk. It's up to the boss if he wants, because one of the issues with the network was it got a few strikes from Channel Zero. Like you can go on and swear and say stupid shit, but actually, if you go on and start saying political stuff, YouTube come down on you pretty hard.
So he's not political; he's religious and like flat Earth. He thinks if you don't believe flat Earth, it's an attack on the cross. So it's because he doesn't believe in aliens. He believes in demons. He closes his eyes. He sees deep. I'm telling you, it's all Montante's world.
Justin, you saw that cut out of Barber Bush.
Yeah, it's upstairs in my room.
That's hot.
Don't care. That McFuss he says needs to hit the post. So we'll see.
We'll see. What else is going on in the network?
No calls.
No, nothing yet. We got a quick little rush there of calls.
Well, I'm gonna jump out now. So I just want to say congratulations to everybody on the network. It's been a fantastic year. Everyone's worked really hard. BA, Joe, John, all the show contributors. I'm not going to name them all, but there'll be content before the end of the year. So this is not the end of the year, but yeah, thanks everybody for the support of the network. It's been a lot of fun, and 2024 is going to be bigger and better. This is just the beginning.
Are you going to be bigger and better? Will you grow?
Yeah. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for a long time, Johnny boy.
Bye.
The CEO himself, Mr. Menders. When we will wait, I don't know. We could wait a little bit more. John, you have anything to say? I know you wanted to say some stuff last week, but you came on with like 8 people.
Yeah, I wanted to just shit on Menners just to feed into the bullshit, but I can't be mad at the little bastard. He's just too cute.
I think for me, it was the clear minute. Besides, that's why I wanted the bracket a bit, but I think Gus and Menner, like Gus, I think Mike was right. He could have been considered Minifan of the year, you know.
He could have been, but Kirk said, like, I mean, it is different to be like a part of the show. It's tough to be Minifan of the year. It's tough to win an amateur award when you've moved up to the professionals. Like, well, think about it. Like in PGA, isn't there like a amateur? Didn't Tiger Woods win as an amateur? Then he wins as a professional.
Yeah, he won it in the past couple of years, but. Isn't it funny? You can't win it because you're too close to the show, but you also can't win it because, like Menners, you're not part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. See? Yeah, it is kind of fucked up.
It's crazy. Justin to the Yak update. Roscoe is one.
Oh, yeah. How's that going? You're just on the roster, basically.
Yeah, I got nothing.
That's okay.
Oh, this is another thing. People are very skeptical if you ran 5 miles.
Oh yeah, I heard. I did cry a little bit today when I heard that everyone at Papa Gino's was very skeptical of this. I had people that I thought were close to there, Julie, and a previous producer of mine that actually did the Justin show. Apparently, he was leading the charge on this. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't say like people think like running, thinking I'm going like 12 miles per hour for like 30 minutes. It takes me like an hour or like more than an hour to do this, but I'm doing it every day. I mean, it's a fucking. I
can't run. I can't.
It breaks my heart a little bit, and people say like, "Oh, will he end up doing like find me a half marathon? I'll attempt it." I mean, I'm
on the record.
I won't necessarily like run. Like I'm not going to sprint it. I've never been a runner, but like worst case scenario, I'll jog or I'll do something that. So
the Justin show was good.
Yeah, we're back to Justin. So someone said PRC to Chicago. David in Maryland said that. He wanted People's Republic of Coleman.
What did you think about the boys running this social media account, Justin? Don't you? I like it that way better.
What do you say? The people
like David in Maryland, and
I thought it was great. I thought it, it adds like a different pizzazz. Yeah. I kind of like the little the rush you get where you're like, ooh, they could post something real stupid. With what's his face did.
Oh yeah, who was that?
Bland Mike or no? It was
during the producer race though.
Yes, and it was great.
Yeah.
Wow, David in Maryland said the Justin show saved his marriage. That's pretty crazy.
Oh wow, I mean, I appreciate that, but
that's nuts.
But no, it's just it's been a great year of KMS content.
I forgot to ask Menners, but who is this former intern that's of his that's now on Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Carlos is the guy that's on Joe Rogan. He's the one that recommended me to be the host of Mike and the Minifans.
Get out of town. He's a genius. I mean, that's
Joe Rogan.
There's 3 steps. There's Menners intern, recommending BA, Joe Rogan. There's 3 steps to this game, buddy, and we just found them.
Carlos, what's he on Joe Rogan?
It's flat Earth, baby.
No way. No way.
All right. What do you want to just chill here? We should just chill here and do like a 30-hour show.
No.
Oh goodness, God.
No. I was thinking if we have no more calls, we could wrap it up. I'm
Yeah,
just
we have
usually Manners wraps it up, and then he left early.
Yeah, you're
but
not good at ending the show.
I just keep saying anything else, and people start talking.
Freddie did.
But anything else, I guess. There's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great 2023. I appreciate all the Minifans. Minifans are the greatest people in the world. Everyone, that contributes something to the network, something to the show, whether it be callers or things like that. Just what a world we live in. What a great world. And then the people that just listen are the best. Minifans truly are the greatest people in the world. And I'm excited to see where the show goes.
Oh, there's a good question.
Favorite moment of 2023. Roscoe keeps us on for another minute.
Oh God. Favorite money.
Brother, I'm here for you too on the do.
Probably it's tough. It's a struggle.
I know, man. I know. Day by day.
Favorite moment of 2023. I mean, probably Portland. Portland's just great.
Portland was fun.
That hurts. That hurts.
What?
It hurts. I was supposed to be there. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, it was just awesome to see all the Minifans just rowdy. I know it was just everyone was just drinking, having a great time.
Portland was rowdy, way more rowdy than Saco.
It was Saco was very tame.
Yeah, Saco was.
Oh, it was just great just to see Kirk run it up and down. Everyone just having a great time. The videos were hilarious and just very grateful and very thankful that I can be a part of this world. And the Minifans are the best. Yeah, so I'd say Portland, and maybe 2024 Portland will also be the best part of 2024. But whenever the Minifans get together like that, thousands of us, it's definitely
good answer.
A sight.
Portland. How about you, John? What's your 2023 top moment?
In like the KMS world, I don't know. Like everything's bad for me. Everything I do is shitty. There's nothing good. No, I get to go on the show a couple of times. So I mean, 2023 as a Minifan has been the best for me. So
I was gonna say going on the show for me was cool, but also I think the producer search. I know it's hard to it's like a month, but I think that was that goes up as like a top 5, maybe top 3 run in like the show history. Like, there's a lot of good runs out there. But that was a solid month where it was like you had to tune in. Even the haters, the trolls, or whatever were fucking 100% invested. So
yeah, there wasn't a lot of people that hated the show at that point.
Like everyone was like into the producer search.
Yeah, and I was thinking this. I think this whenever Kirk says it, where he's like whenever Kirk says like I think the show has been on the best run it has been in the past weeks, and I think that's so subjective. I think if you listen to any month or chunk out of the KMS, if you take the 4 or 5 years that's been happening, if you listen to like any 2-month period, you could say like, oh, this is the best. Like, I think the show is just consistently great. And I know like everyone's going to say, oh, Justin, you're sucking the dick, blah, blah, blah. I think like it's just constantly changing, constantly evolving. It doesn't get stale.
I think like it's like, you got to think he's doing the show so much, like not every day, every day could be funny, but not every day is going to be like this memorable, like, oh, holy fuck. Cause it is like, it's a conversation's a show at the end of the day. Like it's tough to do, like have something like the producer search or something like Cullen out top moment, Cullen game fired. Like it's tough to have, you can't have those moments like every day though.
I've learned by doing Quantum Kirk that like you have like even if it isn't a funny day of the show, the shit that's hidden in it that becomes bigger later down the road is so important to hear. You don't want to miss out on a daily show, so it's like you have to listen to every show to know maybe like an inside joke that turns into something huge. You have a caller if you want to take it.
Exactly. Or maybe it's like something isn't laugh out loud hilarious at the time, but it's mentioned and it turns into something that's like, holy shit. Like think about it. Like Steve lying about tennis wasn't like, oh my, like it was funny. It was like, haha, but that led to Madawaska.
Yeah, it led to a whole tennis match.
Those are Roscoe said Cheeks versus Mom, best fight 23. We can take the caller.
207.
207. Welcome to Menners Live, hosted by BA.
Jump from Scranton Live. Go ahead. 207.
Wow.
It's just not there.
Oh, fucking 207. Fuck you, man. You got us all excited.
I'm just gonna leave him on though. But yeah, that's what I learned a lot from Quantum Kirk. We just did the Quantum Kirk with Kirk on it about Cullen, and it's like you realize, like, just hearing him say what some of these small roles that I didn't know Kate and Harry were in Cullen. I didn't know that at all. And they have pretty like prominent spots. Your spot in Cullen is fucking hysterical. Yours, BA.
I have one line, and they left. I was the only person left out of the credits because Willie G was.
Shout out. I don't even know if I could say
Remember
that.
Willie G, Justin? You know,
Of course I do.
Willie G left me out of the credits, and I remember messaging after. I was like, "What? You didn't?" I was looking at the credits. I'm like, I wasn't even in the fucking credits.
He was our producer.
Oh, and then I think that's when I was going at Steve, and then he showed me the email. Steve emailed him the credits, and he left me out.
Yeah, Steve hated you at that time.
Yeah, he's the only one that still has me blocked. Like everyone else has unblocked me since like my the when I didn't listen or whatever. But he's the only one. Yellow shirt guy, top moment. Yeah, see, yellow shirt guy
Yeah,
was
it's like another top moment. But
yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, like
there's so many top moments. You could have a top 500 moments.
Yellow shirt was like that. That was almost Culling's best YouTube moment because he just zoomed. He never did anything on the show, but he zoomed in on the guy's face.
It was tough. I went out and spoke publicly and bashed Kirk for it and got fucking screamed at by Kirk for that whole thing. And he was right, of course. I was wrong. And it's like, fuck. So yellow shirt guy's a tough moment for me.
Freddie Lynn says his moment of the year was Steve Robinson letting him pee in his hotel room. That's
weird.
That's a big moment.
What?
That's a great moment. But I don't know. We could end this off now.
Yeah, we could. I mean, with 207 still on the line, hasn't said anything. So
yeah, if there's no calls, I would say bon Natal.
Just say hello.
I said I don't think he's saying anything.
Oh,
he said, "Hey, 207,
what's up, man?"
Am I on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
No worries, man.
I thought Stephen Gloucester had a good day today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a Steve hater, so I'm never going to be in the boat of like the Steve act is getting tired at all. Like I think Steve's an original. There's no one else like Steve, so
there's nobody like him.
There's no one.
I would agree with that. I think he had a good show today. He didn't come on and do the he kind of did but it's also kind of he's admitted that the whole fire Gus thing is kind of bullshit. Even when he comes out and he says like, "Hey, I actually think you should." It's like
all show is like fire his ass.
I think it could be critical of Gus, but like deep down, like you don't want the guy fired. Like that's what he has going for him. Because like, does anyone really want like Gus fired? Like the guy is his last chance to do something in life, you know?
Yeah, so. even if you don't, if you want him fired, just think of like what his fuck ups have given.
Well, you get annoyed by him, but then he brings you gold like the other day with his Twitter account.
Oh, Gus is gold. To fire Gus would be ridiculous. Yeah. It's just silly.
I don't think it'd be ridiculous, but I think it's a decision that Kirk's making, and it's
if the same reason he got hired. The same reason he got hired, that craziness and like off the wall insanity is like if you were to fire him for that, makes no sense, you know? So it's like that's how I feel about it. And Kirk was kind of right when he was like, Gus kind of has like the full life deal, but I know he doesn't. But it's still like I don't think you could fire him for the things people want him fired for right now, even though he had a tough week.
Tim, what was your favorite moment of 2023?
Who's Tim?
Tim Richards. That's what the people are saying.
Oh, is this Tim Richards?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, it's not me.
All right. Well, all right, we tried. Thank you for the call,
Merry
buddy.
Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Montante breaking the chair by him, dudes. That was a great moment.
It's tough.
He was so mad about it.
He did. The show today was good. Like, I don't know. That Montante is another one where everyone's just like, Montante's fading out. It's like, shut up. Montante's awesome on the show. I love Montante on the show.
It's a solid week for me. But I don't know. Anything else?
I got nothing.
Nothing for Justin.
I love you,
for
Justin.
John. Great year. Thank you, Axe. Thank you, John. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you, Kirk. Kirk was right.
Great 2023.
Another tough day at work today. Steve and Kirk think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and RA Minahan. The host can't see, it's Mike and the Minifans. And nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee, it's Mike and the Minifans.